Oh, hey, Wonder World. How the fuck are you guys today? Coming in hot for another 100 wonderful ways to get more and better clients. Today, we are talking all about masterclass fucking secrets, okay? Masterclasses that are high converting, that close high ticket clients in the highest and best ways. Because if you ask me, I love a fucking masterclass. And let me tell you fucking why, okay? One is because it's way faster than sales calls. Okay? It's way faster than sales calls. It's way less time. I'm gonna get on and maybe do like a 90-minute or 2-hour masterclass, and then I'm gonna close a whole bunch of fucking clients. And I'm not gonna have to sit on calls with them, right? So it gets to be faster, it gets to be easier. So let's talk about all of the secrets to make masterclasses actually worth doing, okay? So, guys, let's get started with first and foremost, put in the chat what the fuck you do here, right? What do you do? Tell us how you're an expert. Tell us who you help. Tell us what the results are that you have, that you help other people get. Tell us a little bit about your business because you are being streamed in live right now to 34,000 high vibe entrepreneurs. And I bet a couple of them might be a great fit for your fucking program. Okay, so let's make sure that we're getting more eyes on your business. So take a couple seconds and just put it in the comments because I know that you guys joined a group called Unicorn Client Attraction Secrets because bitch, you want more fucking clients. That's why you're fucking here, right? Okay, so just pop it into the chat and let's get this party started. Okay, so first and foremost, I have a question for you. Okay, who here has ever gone to a masterclass? Have you ever attended a masterclass? Okay, so it's really important to give ourselves a strong point of reference. If we want to throw masterclasses, one of the best thing that we can do is go to masterclasses, okay? Because this is going to help us to understand what it feels like to be a consumer, okay? And when we have that consumer awareness, we're of course going to provide a higher and better experience for our clients because we're going to go to this masterclass and be like, ugh, I really, really didn't like this shit. Or, ooh, this was really cool. I really love the way that they did this. So this is something I highly encourage people to do is to go and funnel hack, right? Go and funnel hack, get a good feeling.
Accessibility
What
shortcuts.
did I push? Go and take action, and go and attend other people's masterclasses because this is going to give you a point of reference that's going to help you to really focus on the client experience, which is a key part of what makes a masterclass successful. Obviously, if people are coming to a masterclass and they're not participating in it because they don't like it and it's boring, well, then they're not gonna fucking buy, right? Okay, so, and obviously on the other side, if people are coming to a masterclass and it's absolutely riveting and it's changing people's lives and it's creating aha moments and transformational energy, people are far more likely to buy. But a lot of that has to do with the actual formatting of the masterclass, not just the subject that we're teaching, right? It's how you fucking deliver it that makes people feel that feeling. And remember, guys, people do not buy from logic. They buy from emotion. So we want to make sure that our masterclasses provide an emotional experience for clients to be able to say yes to themselves. Is this making sense? Are we tracking? So tell me, have you been to a masterclass before? Okay, and tell me a little bit about what that experience was like for you. What was it like when you went to that masterclass? Okay, what were the things? What is one thing that you liked and one thing that you fucking hated? Okay, when I first started attending masterclasses, the thing that I hated was PowerPoint presentations. Okay. When I'm sitting here, like, okay, and you had like, I'm like this, like the speaker's this big in the screen in this tiny little box up in the corner, and the rest of the page is being shared in, and it's a PowerPoint presentation. And this speaker up in the corner is reading to me like a fucking kindergartner. Okay. They're like reading the PowerPoint slides. Please go fuck yourself. Okay. Like, I am not going to sit through that. That is the most boring thing in the world. Why don't you just send me the fucking PowerPoint presentation? I'll read it myself because I'm a fucking adult and I read a lot fucking faster than you fucking talk. Okay. So that is a waste of my time. I am not interested in sitting through your fucking PowerPoint presentation. I hate it. It's boring. I don't care about it. You're reading me bullet points on a fucking slide. Like, no fucking thank you. I absolutely hate masterclasses that are just shared in screens of PowerPoint presentations. Therefore, I do not do masterclasses that are PowerPoint presentations. Okay, I will occasionally share my screen in, we'll do something interactive, but then I will pop right out of it and I will come right back here, taking up your full screen, talking to you and having an intimate level conversation. Because what I love about masterclasses when done properly is the fact that it does feel fully immersive. Okay, it feels like we melt the screen of the Zoom and we're all in the same room together and we're able to ask questions and we're able to connect in that comment section and we're able to actually participate and have this go back and forth kind of energy that's so much more entertaining than a fucking webinar. Okay, like I'm not opposed to a webinar. I will watch a webinar as long as I can watch it on double time. Okay. If people don't let me fucking, like, sometimes they don't let you fucking move it on double time, I won't watch it. Okay. They talk too fucking slow. I'm not fucking interested. It wastes my time. I'm not going to sit here for 90 minutes and watch your fucking webinar. Okay. I'm not doing it. Fucking, it's ridiculous. Right. I like a masterclass better because it does have that live component. And so there's something to do, there's something to participate in, and it creates that fully immersive experience. Therefore, when I throw masterclasses, I create fully immersive experiences. A lot of times we have a silly little theme, right? And so all of a sudden we're running around with little unicorns, or we have little selfie sticks, or we're all dressed up as a marketing masquerade or a burlesque show, right? We're doing all sorts of different immersive activities that keep me entertained. And so we create it as an infotainment based experience so we can melt the Zoom, everybody can really connect, and we can actually feel like we're in person live at a real event rather than listening to a boring ass fucking lecture of somebody just talking up in a fucking corner, reading me a PowerPoint presentation that I could have read myself in fucking 10 minutes fucking flat rather than wasting 90 minutes of my day today. Okay. So it's really understanding like the feeling that you want to have in your masterclass is what's going to be setting this up for success. And we need to build this from the consumer experience. Okay. And so the best way to create a consumer experience is for you to have a consumer experience. Are we tracking? Are we following? Is this fucking making sense for us? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Ashley, I hate when the master classes are all about their story and then they start pitching and we don't even really know what the micro result I came for. This is so fucking annoying, right? It's like you came to a master class for this specific result, right? And you're like, okay, I'm gonna spend 90 minutes of my fucking day watching this masterclass. And then we get up there and this person tells me this big sob story about their dog dying, and then they pitch me an offer. Where was my micro result? Where was the promise, right? Fuck that shit. That bait and switch, it's fucking terrible. I agree. Let's see. Sam has been to a few. One was just meh. It was $20, so I thought I learned something. It was great stories and motivation. But the next masterclass was the same stories. Yeah, the repetition of things, right? Is like when you're just hearing the same thing over and over again. I mean, in some ways, this is good, and we need to have this in our business because it actually takes us get results, right? We got to fucking condition our audience. But the fact of the matter is that when it's a boring ass script, it's hard to keep coming back for more, right? Lori, yes, I've been to some good ones and some bad ones. The one thing I liked was cool stories. One thing I hated was feeling overwhelmed. Yeah. And that is something that is a little bit of an understanding of that overwhelm can be a sales skill. And so this is something that some people do inside of their master classes, and you can stylistically make that choice, is that overwhelm becomes the open loop, right? And so a lot of times people don't overwhelm their people and then people don't buy, right? So understand that the overwhelm is actually a sales strategy, and that's something that you can decide to use or not decide to use, completely up to you. Lauren, Melanie and Laird is amazing, but her music in the intros and outros are so fucking loud. And most PowerPoints, I hate when people talk about themselves for the first 30 minutes. I didn't come here to learn about how you came into your business if it ain't relevant. Same, dude. Like I just can't with that shit. Like I came here to learn the thing that you said you were gonna teach me. That's what I'm fucking here for. Like, I don't want it to be all about you, right? You can lace those stories in a creative and interesting fucking way so that I learn about you and we build know, like, and trust along the way. But quite honestly, I don't want to listen to a fucking 45-minute presentation about how you fucking started your business because I don't care. I'm here to better my business. I'm not here to, be the audience for your business. Totally agree. Most webinars suck. Agree. Webinars tough, man. It's a different fucking animal. But doing a lot of masterclasses will make you better at doing webinars in the future, right? Okay, so the fully immersive experiences are the best. Yeah, that's exactly what I agree with too. So all right, let's talk about the structure here. Let's talk about how we want to break down these master classes. And that means that we're going to start with the really not sexy, boring part. I know that sucks, right? But guys, we got to swallow the frog, because if we don't do the not sexy, boring part, guess what fucking happens? nothing. Our masterclasses absolutely fucking fail when we don't do this part. So the very most important thing that you need for your masterclass in order for it to be a high converting successful masterclass that actually closes clients is that masterclass needs to have a very clear message statement. Okay, when you have this very clear message statement in order, then you're going to make decisions that support that message statement. So then we're not going to put some random ass shit into our masterclass. We're not going to throw in the kitchen sink. We're not going to get off on weird fucking tangents, and we're not going to spend this entire time telling a story about a fucking dog. Okay, we're going to stay on task. So let's go through the formula. A lot of you guys already know it by now, right? So it's going to be the masterclass messaging formula that is going to be, I help specifically who to get main result without previous methodology using signature methodology. Okay, now this is where it gets a little bit fucking tricky, right? Is that messaging statement cannot be the same messaging statement for your masterclass as it is for your signature offer. Does this make sense? Right? Because what happens if we do that? Okay, if I'm like, okay, I can help you, like I'm gonna use Nonstop's messaging statement, right? It's like, I help high vibe entrepreneurs to attract unicorn clients without the struggle of cold outreach using energetically aligned social selling strategies. If I'm promising to you that I'm gonna teach that to you in a 90-minute masterclass, and then at the end, I pitch Nonstop, why would you buy? Like, I made you the promise that I was going to teach you that in this 90 minutes. Now, I obviously would have failed at this point, right? So if I failed to deliver the promise of the masterclass, then why would you buy my $10,000 thing? Because you're naturally going to assume that I'm going to fail to deliver that promise too, right? People don't like bait and switch. And so when you use the same message statement for your masterclass as you do for your signature offer, that is bait and switch. Because the fact of the matter is that I can't teach you to build a fucking unicorn sales funnel and create 5-figure months that turn into 5-figure fucking days in 90 minutes. I can't. There's too much that needs to be covered in that. There's too many belief patterns that need to be shifted for you. There's too much structure that needs to be built in there. But I can create micro results along the way. I can create tiny little pieces that would lead to you eventually doing that. And so that's what you want to think about the masterclass as, is just a tiny little portion, one little segment that's going to help people to have a snack. Like when we go to Costco, right? We're going to get a snack before we buy the whole pack. Okay. So when we give people the promise, the thing that we said, hey, we're going to help you to do this, then people can say yes to that. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're going to give them a tiny snack. So that means when we're creating this message statement, we want to be very clear, we want to be very transparent, and we want to be very honest. So I came up with a fun little example for you guys today, and I like to use kind of ridiculous examples because it helps you. Okay, so let's just pretend that I'm throwing a new masterclass, okay? And this masterclass is going to be called the Cherry Popping Pony Party. Okay. See, I told you you're going to remember it. All right. So we're throwing the Cherry Popping Pony Party, and it's going to help brand spanking new entrepreneurs to get their first client without sending thirst trap fucking DMs by using a 7-day sexy as fuck client attraction formula. Okay, so can you hear that? That's like a masterclass. I'm selling you the masterclass. I'm making you the offer of the masterclass. So let's break down this message statement together. Okay, so we're calling it a cherry popping pony party. Okay, so because we're getting you your first client. And so, of course, I'm being a little bit silly. I'm being a little bit funny with that. So it's creating that memorable theme, right? What's everybody thinking about right now, right? Okay, so we're creating that memorable theme. And this is specifically for who? For brand spanking new entrepreneurs. Brand spanking new entrepreneurs. That's my specific target market. So this masterclass is not for people who are making 6 figures. This masterclass is not for people who are making 7 figures. This masterclass is not for people who already have clients. This masterclass is for brand spanking new entrepreneurs who don't have any clients at all. Make sense? Yes? Okay. Okay. And we're going to help them to get their first client, main result, first client. Okay, so that means that I'm repelling everybody who already has clients. I'm only speaking to one subcategory of person who's going to get their first client. That's all, okay? And now I'm going to tell them what they don't have to do, because what a lot of people are trying to do right now to get their first client is they're sending a whole bunch of thirst trap DMs, right? Hey girl messages to 30 to 50 people today. And nobody wants to fucking do that anymore. They have setters on all this fucking nasty, sleazy stuff where they're reaching out to people and they hate it and they're fucking consumed with rejection all day long and it feels terrible. So I'm telling you right now that in this masterclass, I'm going to show you how to get your first client, and you're not going to have to send a single thirst trap fucking DM. None. You're not sending any fucking DMs. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to be using a 7-day sexy as fuck client attraction formula. Okay, so I'm, instead of shifting it from, hey, we have to do cold outreach, now I'm going to show you that in 7 days you can get your very first client using client attraction instead of cold outreach. Does this make sense, right? Are we following along? Okay, so I want you to see how that fits in, because now when people come to this masterclass and they have this experience and they get to come and they get to learn this 7-day attraction formula, they're like, okay, this makes sense. I get it. Now I understand the difference between cold outreach and client attraction. So at the end of that masterclass, I'm going to pitch and I'm going to make an offer for my $10,000 program. Okay, and so I'm going to say, hey, this is for your first client and we want you to get that first client. We want you to have this experience. But if you want to build a unicorn sales funnel, if you want to be closing consistent clients, if you want to be able to close high ticket clients, if you want to be able to create 5-figure months that turn into 5-figure days, you got to build a unicorn sales funnel for that. And yeah, you're not going to have to use any of this sleazy fucking cold outreach. No cold DMs, no narcissistic fucking marketing, no pain point poking, none of those things. You're going to use energetically aligned social selling strategies, just like the ones that I just taught you, but it's going to be at a much bigger scale. So you're actually going to be able to build a whole successful business for this. And inside of this program, it's not 7 days, it's a whole year, because I really want you to understand the foundational skills that it takes to market, to sell, to deliver, and to create the momentum of sales so that you can consistently close 5-figure months that turn into 5-figure days. And so I can pitch nonstop because it's on top of what I just gave you. Okay, so that gives people the clarity and they're like, okay, this totally makes sense. Like, yes, of course, I want to close one client. That's going to be fantastic. But I want to consistently close clients. And I don't want to just close this one new low ticket client. I want to close high ticket clients. I want to be able to have 5-figure months that turn into 5-figure days. So I need to logically buy the bigger thing, right? So we set that logic path up so that it makes sense. But then we need to make sure that we add emotion on top of it. Does that make sense? Are we following along, right? Is that in our masterclass formula, we have to start with that piece, right? With the actual messaging. So we know specifically who it's for, what the main result is, what they're not going to have to do to get it they don't want to do, what they're going to do instead. But also, because it's a masterclass, we need to make sure that that messaging fits inside of our bigger messaging for our signature offer that we're going to offer at the end of this masterclass. We need to make sure that we set up the logical foundational pieces for a successful masterclass. This is the order of operations that it needs to be done. Okay, so once we have that structure in place, then and only then can we add transformational stories on top of this. And the transformational stories provide the emotional context that creates conversion. Are we following along, right? Is this making sense? Good, 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 right? Okay, so we want to make sure we have the logic in place with the messaging, that our messaging does not cannibalize, so we're not making any nasty bait and switch piece offers here, right? Okay, so that what? So that people are closing into our signature offer at the end of this masterclass. So I want you guys to be able to do this today. I want you to put this into action, right? Because action takers get results. Okay, so we want to put this into action. I want you to pretend that you are throwing a masterclass, and you can be a little bit silly like me, right? Okay. It helps with the memorization if you are a little bit silly with it, right? But you can put together a masterclass that is specifically for one sub niche of people inside of your offer. Does that make sense? One sub niche. So one sub niche for nonstop for my $10,000 program is brand new entrepreneurs. Okay. I have other sub niches, but I have one sub niche, and the masterclass is specifically going to be just for that one sub niche. It's not going to be for everybody. We want to repel. Remember that we can't attract if we're not willing to repel. So we want to make the masterclass a small room of people because we're going to be specifically tackling one singular topic. We're going to help them to get those results. We're going to help them to believe in themselves a little bit more today when they go to that masterclass. And then we're going to make them that ascension offer. Okay, so I want you guys to be able to put the message statement together, because every other decision that you make to build what's called your run of show for your event is based on this message statement. If you don't have this message statement in place, you're going to make random decisions. And if you make random decisions for the format of your masterclass, it's probably going to fall on its fucking face. Okay. So we want this to be successful. We need to niche it down. We need to be very specific. We need to put the messaging in place, and we need to make sure that we are not cannibalizing our signature offer. This gives us what's called the foundation for our run of show. Okay, so what the fuck is a run of show? Okay, a run of show is a very detailed spreadsheet, okay, that is broken down section by section to help you to stay on task for your masterclass. This is going to include your traffic driving strategies, okay? It's going to include your actual run of show as far as 5 minute by 5 minute breakdowns of this. It's going to include your open loops. It's going to include your transformational story, your training, your pitch, and what that specific offer is for that masterclass. Maybe you're doing like a little bit of a bonus, right? It's like when people buy on this masterclass, you get this specific bonus. Your run of show is going to incorporate all of those pieces. It will also incorporate sales if you want to do a paid masterclass. You can do a paid masterclass or you can do a free masterclass, and you can do those at whatever price points you'd like. Obviously, if it's free, it's costing time, right? Time and energy. Okay. But you can do $7 masterclasses. You can do $27 masterclasses, $47 masterclasses, $97 masterclasses, $297 masterclasses, right? You can put those pieces together, but you have to make sure that your price point matches the return on investment. Okay, so if I'm going to teach you how to get your very first client, and let's just use in this cherry popping example, right, is that maybe I'm going to teach you how to close a $27 client. So then it's totally logical for me to create a price point that's like, hey, this masterclass is just $27, but I'm going to show you how to close $27 clients, right? So you're going to make your money back in just one client. Okay, for a first-time entrepreneur, they're like, yeah, that would be fucking awesome, right? Now, if somebody was already making fucking six figures, they're gonna be like, Nicole, go fuck yourself, right? Like, I don't want to learn how to close $27 fucking clients. Good. This masterclass is not for you. Okay. So because I put the message statement in place, I'm not going to make silly decisions that don't align with that masterclass. If I charge $27 for it and teach you how to close $27 clients, that makes sense because I'm staying on task and I'm staying on point with first time entrepreneurs getting their very first client, brand spanking new entrepreneurs, and I'm keeping everything in alignment. Does this make sense? So we're not deviating. When you have the message statement in place, you're going to ensure that your run of show actually makes sense. Okay, so then when we go into the next category of this, we're going to go through that actual breakdown of what this masterclass looks like. So let's just talk about it at a high level, right? Hey, it's like number one, okay, we have to come in and break the ice. And a lot of people don't do this, okay? A lot of people fuck up their masterclasses because they don't make people feel the feeling right when they walk in the door. So you got to know, how do I want people to feel in this room? And so I'll give you a little unicorn hack, a little unicorn fucking secret, okay? Is that you've got to think about this as a physical space. Rather than thinking about it as a boring ass Zoom, you want to think about this as if I was doing this in real life, where would I do it? What would it feel like? Right? What would be the hors d'oeuvres that we pass around? What are the snacks? What's the food? What's the drink? What does it fucking smell like? What would you wear? You want to get really tangible and very specific with this, because in your head, creating that clarity turns this into a fully immersive experience, not just for you, but for your clients. And so that means it's going to be more memorable. They're going to be more entertained. And through infotainment, this can be extremely powerful because then people are feeling a feeling the second they walk in the door. And remember, people don't buy from logic, they buy from feelings. So we want to have the logic in place, but we need to put those feelings on top of it. So the first section of the masterclass is actually going to be what we call the rapport build, where you feel a feeling. So we have a little bit of an icebreaker, we get people talking, we get people engaged. Maybe we're telling a little bit of a story here, right? Maybe we're doing an activity, but we need to have some sort of icebreaker that gets the Zoom screen to melt and gets everybody engaged and paying the fuck attention. Because the truth is, most people who sit on masterclasses sit there with their fucking phone in their hand, and that's all they fucking do, and they don't really participate. So if they don't participate, are they going to buy? Probably not. So we need to get them really involved. Then we're going to provide the training. Okay, in that training, we actually need to do what we promised. Okay, we promised them that we're going to show them how to get their first client using the 7-day client attraction strategy. Okay, spoiler alert, you guys should probably know what that is, right? It's called content that crushes. This is the 5 algorithm hacking pieces of content that I teach you to use on your personal page within 7 days to close your first fucking client, right? You guys can get that for just $7. Drop a unicorn in the comments, and I'll send it over to you. Well, maybe I should make you drop a cherry today. Drop cherries in the comments, and we'll send over content that crushes for you, right? Okay, so that you can get what's in our masterclass, but it's actually just already built into a mini course. Okay, so I would teach content that crushes in this, and so you would learn these 5 algorithm hacking pieces of content that show you how to take action over the next 7 days to close your first $27 fucking client. Okay, so I would show you in that actual masterclass, not later, but right now in this masterclass, I would teach all of those pieces so that you could successfully close that first client, right? Okay, so then we're going to need a transformational story. And it's really important that you take a transformational story and you put it right in between your training and your pitch, because that transformational story shifts you out of the logical piece of logically training people and puts people into emotion. So in your run a show, you need to choose that transformational story. And this is really important. You've got to drop into your energetic field. You've got to drop into your emotions at this point so that you can emote during the transformational story and get everybody else emotionally invested in the results that they desire. Then we want to do the pitch at the end, okay? And so we make that offer to people. We make it a no-brainer. Maybe you put in a super fucking special bonus, right? Kick ass and take names, okay? So you put that bonus in there that creates that sense of urgency so that people are buying right now. When we have those key components placed into the run of show, along with our traffic driving strategies, right? Okay, all the bonus material, everything that we need to know 5-minute by 5-minute throughout that entire experience, and we build this run of show, now we have a solid as fuck masterclass. And so we're showing up, we're going to drive traffic to that masterclass, whether it's paid or free. We're going to drive traffic to that masterclass. We're going to put people into the Zoom room. They're going to have this 90-minute experience, and then they're going to fucking buy your signature offer. Okay, and that's fantastic because now we've completely eliminated the need to do any sales calls, right? Which means that we're going to be closing clients faster. Okay, so masterclasses are one of the things that I did in the very beginning to start closing clients because, quite honestly, wax on, wax off, it's a great training experience. It makes you better on a live. It makes you better at ROI articulation. It makes you better at training. It makes you better at delivering. It certainly makes you better at fucking pitching. So I highly recommend that you guys do masterclasses because it makes you better, but also because it will close clients for you. So this is something that even if you do sales calls, that's great. Do your sales calls. Even if you do straight through the funnel closing, I also highly recommend that you do at least one masterclass per quarter. Okay, this is going to train you in so many different soft skills and set you up for success. And it's just going to make you so much better. Okay, like I'm so much better on a live because I did all of those masterclasses back in the day, and I called them pony parties, and we still do one. We just did one, right? We just did a pony party, right? And so they're fun, and it's something that actively engages your audience. It builds know, like, and trust. It gets people into the room. It shows you who your leads are, right? So there's no downside to this, but having a masterclass without a run of show is absolutely fucking insane. Okay, you've got to have that run of show in place. So inside of Money Making Unicorns today, which if you don't know, Money Making Unicorns is my $47 a month membership that's based completely on strategy. We're going to break this down in depth, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the structure of how you set up a run of show, specifically using open loops. Because if you don't use open loops, guys, none of this stuff is going to work, right? So inside of Money Making Unicorns, we're going to show you how to do that specifically with yours, and all of the clients in there are going to be able to ask me some questions to make sure they're setting their masterclass up for success so that they can create that high conversion at the end of it and make their masterclasses worth motherfucking doing, right? Remember, content that crushes will help you to drive traffic to your masterclasses so your masterclasses are full. So when you go in and get that $7 content that crushes today, right? Grab that $7 content that crushes today. You're also going to get that bonus offer that's going to say, hey, do you want to come into Money Making Unicorns? And you're going to say, fuck yes, I do, right? Fuck yes, I want to come into Money Making Unicorns, and I want to be able to have this touch point with me every fucking week, right? Every Tuesday we come in here, I do a live Q&A, and I help you to break down these concepts so that you can start putting putting these strategies in place in your business, and you can start, you guessed it, making motherfucking money. Okay. So I'm heading over to Money Making Unicorns right now, but you guys get out there, do all of the motherfucking wonderful things. And we will see you next Tuesday.